So I'm back with another top list. I think this is going to be around 16 to 17 different brands. I'm going to try and talk about this all in under 5 minutes. I've tried to do this a few times. I have failed. However, today I think I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be talking about 16 or 17 brands that are really cool, that fly under the radar, and most watch collectors obviously love. So getting right into it, number one, Grand Seiko. If you see someone with a Grand Seiko on their wrist, you know they know something about watches, at least a little bit. If you're a watch collector, obviously you appreciate Grand Seiko for the fact that they are the big brother of Seiko with, in a lot of cases, better than Rolex quality. Number two on this list is Christopher Ward, a very small independent brand that is growing in leaps and bounds. They make some incredible watches like the Belcanto and their new 12. However, they also make some really reliable dive watches. Again, if you see someone with one of these watches on their wrist, you immediately know that they are a watch collector. Next on this list is Porsche Design. Porsche Design has been around for a very long time. They are pioneers in watchmaking, so they've actually had some major firsts in watchmaking. They've been produced by many different brands as well, including IWC and Eterna. So when you see one on someone's wrist, you know that they are a watch collector and that they are a watch nerd. Next on this list is probably the most expensive watch on this list, or watch brand. That is Moser, an independent brand that has become a darling of collectors because of their beautiful dials, their really great construction and in-house movements. Tons of people love these watches. However, it's still a secret of watch collectors. Next on the list is Tiso. When we're talking about Tiso, we're talking about great value, the PRX, and of course the C-Star 1000. These are excellent watches, and when you see someone wearing one, you know that they've watched reviews and they've done their research because they have an excellent watch that they didn't pay a lot of money for, and obviously collectors love them. Next on this list is Oris. Oris is a really cool brand that's been around for quite some time. They have a really great following of people, and of course, they make watches that enthusiasts love. When you see someone with an Oris on their wrist, you know that they are a watch collector. Next on the list is Zodiac. Zodiac, a very historic brand, but at the same time, very affordable, and they also make tons of really good-looking watches. That's why collectors love them. So if you see someone with a Zodiac on their wrist, definitely ask them about their watch. The next one on this list is IWC. Now this may be personal to me. However, whenever I see someone with an IWC on their wrist, I realize they could have bought other brands, but they decided to buy an IWC. I think IWC does get some hate within the collectors community, but there are plenty of people in the community that love IWC. I am one of them, so that's why I put them on this list. The next two watch brands on this list are extremely historic. They're really well known, and of course they are affordable. Collectors absolutely love them, specifically the dive watches from these brands. Of course, I am talking about Japanese powerhouses, Citizen and Seiko. When you see someone wearing a Citizen or Seiko diver on their wrist, you know they know about watches. Now, it can't be said for all of their watches because they are a department store brand, or both of them are. So when you see someone wearing a diver in particular, you know that they've done some research. Next on this list, number 11, we're talking about Ball watches. Ball make incredible watches at a really good value, but at the same time, very, very high quality. They actually have their own in-house movements, and of course, they are a historic brand. Next on the list might be an obvious choice, but Omega. When I see someone wearing an Omega on their wrist, I know that they know a little bit about watches. They didn't just go out and try and buy a Rolex. However, maybe they did and they couldn't get one and they got an Omega anyway, and they're enjoying it. Because Omega make high quality watches, and usually you can get them for a pretty decent price. When I see an Omega on the wrist of somebody I'm talking to, I know that they appreciate watches. Next is a brand that I talk about here on my channel very, very often. I actually own a few. It is Eterna. Eterna make very affordable watches, especially on the secondary market, because that's where most of them are. However, they're a historic brand that make very high quality watches that you can get for literally a song on the secondary market. And a lot of their watches feature in-house movements. Whenever I see anybody with an Eterna, I know that they know about watches. Next on this list is Ming. Ming are a collector's brand, really in the know if you own a Ming. Not many people outside of the watch community know about Ming, so if you see one on someone's wrist, obviously they know something about watches. The next watch brand that I'm talking about here is Fears. Fears is an English brand that was revived. They make some pretty cool watches, and all of their designs are vintage inspired. And I have to say, every time I see a Fears on someone's wrist, not only am I very impressed with the quality, but I'm also impressed that they know about the brand, and that means that they are a watch collector. Another watch brand that is from Japan, this is Menace. Menace makes some pretty incredible watches with dozens of different little sapphire windows, beautiful dials. They're handcrafted in Japan, and if you are a watch collector, you definitely know this brand. Most people who are not do not know this brand, and that's why I think it's a really cool brand that watch collectors love. Last but not least, I think number 17 on this list is Longines. Longines, I think, rival in quality the best like Grand Seiko. However, they have an incredible history as well. I just love Longines, and whenever I see anybody with one on their wrist, vintage or new, I know that they are watch collectors. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think about this list. I tried to name as many brands and give you a little bit of information on them as I could in this amount of time, and I think I tried to do my best, but there are definitely watches that I missed. Please add a comment down below. Let me know about the brands that I missed. Let me know if you think there are any brands that I included that you think should not be included on this list. Maybe there's a watch here or a brand that I've mentioned that you don't think is cool and you don't think collectors like. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I will catch you in the next video.